Welcome back to Gambling Flow, your daily deep dive into the world of, well, gambling.
You got it.
I'm Russell Kane.
And I'm Fiona Blake.
We're going to tackle something today. A question. It seems obvious.
Okay.
Maybe, maybe not. Are sports bettors and casino players really that different?
Ooh, that's a good one.
On a surface,
Yeah.
they're both aiming for a win, right?
Risk and reward.
But is there something, I don't know, is there something more? Something that sets them apart?
Absolutely. It's a fantastic question. And I think it is something that a lot of people wonder. On the surface, yes, there's risk, there's reward.
Yeah.
But the mindset, the strategies, even like the psychological profiles of these two groups are actually surprisingly distinct.
Okay, so let's unpack this. So imagine you're watching a football game with your friends.
Yep. Okay.
You decide to put down a 10 or 20 quid, whatever, on your team.
Uh-huh.
That's betting, right?
Yeah.
But later that night, you're feeling lucky. You go to a casino, you hit the roulette wheel.
Okay.
That's gambling.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So is that the distinction, or are we just talking about perception here?
I think you've picked up on a key difference in how these activities are perceived. Betting, especially on sports,
Yeah.
is often seen as something where your skill and knowledge can play a role. You research the teams, you look at the stats, maybe you have a gut feeling about a player or
Yeah.
you feel like you're trying to outsmart the odds a little bit.
Okay, so you're bringing something to the table. You're not just,
Exactly.
letting the dice roll.
Exactly.
So it's almost like there's an illusion of control then.
Yes.
That in sports betting, you're relying on your own expertise, not just on luck.
Mm-hmm.
But in a casino, you are surrendering to chance. Like, the roulette wheel doesn't care how much you study or,
Exactly. It's all about chance.
It's just, yeah.
And that really does influence the way that people approach those activities.
Right.
But here's where it gets a bit more complicated. Even when you feel like you're in control, the house always has an edge.
Okay.
Right. The house edge is the mathematical advantage that's built into every single game
Yeah.
to make sure that in the long run, the casino or the bookmaker makes a profit.
Right.
So even if you are amazing at poker, even if you can predict football scores,
Yeah.
like like a wizard,
Yeah. Like an oracle.
the house edge is always going to be there, lurking in the background.
So no matter how good you are, no matter how skilled, they've got this slight inbuilt advantage.
Yes.
It's almost like you're playing a game, but the rules are rigged against you.
In a subtle way, yeah.
Subtly, yeah.
Yeah.
Does that mean then that trying to beat the system, trying to outsmart it is just pointless?
Not necessarily. I mean, there are definitely strategic approaches that can help you minimize the house edge
Okay.
or take advantage of very specific opportunities.
Yeah.
So in sports betting, for example, you've got something called arbitrage betting.
I've heard of this.
Yeah. You've probably come across it. It's where you exploit the differences in the odds that are offered by different bookmakers. And if you can, work it out just right, you can actually guarantee yourself a profit.
Wow.
But even arbitrage betting
Yeah.
carries some risk. And ultimately, it's still gambling.
So even when it seems like you found that kind of sure thing,
Yeah.
there's always going to be an element of risk involved.
Yeah, you can't eliminate it entirely.
Yeah. Okay. But let's talk about the players themselves.
Okay.
Are there clear-cut differences between the average sports bettor and the typical casino goer?
Well, research suggests there's some quite fascinating demographic trends, actually.
Okay.
So the typical sports bettor,
Yeah.
let's say in the U.S., tends to be younger,
Younger. Okay.
often male, and typically has a higher income.
Higher income.
Right.
Okay.
So that means they're probably, more comfortable with risk, and they have the disposable income to wager.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. They're probably the same folks who are into, like, fantasy sports leagues, and they get really into the stats and all this,
Absolutely.
analysis.
Yeah.
It's all part of the fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what about the casino player then? Are they a totally different breed?
Well, they do tend to have a different profile, I would say.
Okay.
So the average casino player is often a bit older,
Older. Okay.
and they're looking for entertainment.
Entertainment, right.
A bit of a break from their routine.
Right.
Winning is a bonus,
Yeah.
but it's not necessarily the main focus.
Right. So the focus is more on just enjoying the experience itself, the atmosphere, maybe the chance of a big win.
Exactly, yeah. Like you go to Vegas, You want to have fun.
It's like a mini vacation, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's an escape from the everyday. The
absolutely.
flashing lights, the sounds, all of that kind of, the thrill of the roulette wheel spinning.
Exactly.
But beyond demographics, what about the psychology? Do sports bettors and casino players, do they approach risk and reward differently?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's a big difference.
Okay.
So sports bettors often show a cognitive bias that's called the illusion of control
Okay.
because they put the time in, they do the research,
Yeah.
they actually overestimate their ability to predict outcomes.
Okay.
So they see themselves as skilled even.
Right.
Rather than gamblers, they think of themselves more as investors.
Oy. Yeah.
And that perception then fuels their willingness to take risks because they think, well, I've done my homework. I've got an edge.
I'm gonna. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's almost like they're trying to turn gambling into a science.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
But even with all the stats in the world, sometimes the underdog has its day, right?
Of course.
How do they deal with those kind of unexpected losses?
Well, that is a really key difference in how these two groups approach risk.
Okay.
So casino players are much more accepting of chance and luck.
Okay.
They know the house has an edge,
Yeah.
but they're there for the thrill of the unknown. They're there for the
Yeah.
the possibility of the big win.
So it's almost like they've already factored in that they might lose.
Yeah,
It's part of the entertainment budget.
it is.
It's like going to the movies. You're hoping for a blockbuster.
Yeah,
But you accept it might not be.
exactly.
A fantastic film.
You're paying for the experience.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of thing.
Okay, but that difference in mindset,
Yeah.
that's got to affect the way they actually gamble, hasn't it?
Oh, it absolutely influences their strategies, yeah.
Right, okay.
So sports bettors are all about analysis and research.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
they spend hours poring over stats.
Right.
They want to know about team news, injuries. They're looking for those value bets.
Value bets.
Where the odds offered seem to underestimate a team's chances.
Yeah.
They're looking for those tiny, tiny edges that can add up over time.
So they're playing a long game then. They're using data and strategy,
Exactly.
trying to improve their chances of winning.
Yeah, it's like a financial investment for them.
Yeah.
Almost.
But what about the casino players?
Yeah.
How do they approach strategy when it's so much about chance?
Well, they'll often use things like bankroll management techniques to extend their playing time,
Okay.
minimize their losses. So you might have heard of the martingale system.
Martingale. Yeah.
It's quite a popular one where you double your bet after each loss.
Right, okay.
So you're hoping to eventually win back what you've lost.
That sounds a bit risky. Like it could backfire pretty quickly.
It can do. If you hit a losing streak, you can lose a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it does illustrate a key difference.
Okay.
Sports bettors are trying to outsmart the odds, whereas casino players, they're more focused on managing their money and riding the waves of luck.
So we've got, on the one hand, the strategic, analytical sports bettor,
Mm-hmm.
and then we've got the chance-embracing, thrill-seeking
Yeah.
casino player.
That's a good summary.
But beyond the strategy,
Yeah.
what's actually driving them? What is the real appeal?
Well, for sports bettors, I think it comes down to the thrill of the competition
Okay.
and the challenge of kind of proving their knowledge. They're passionate about the sport, and the betting just adds another layer of engagement.
So they're not just spectators.
Yeah.
They're active participants.
Exactly.
Their knowledge, their predictions, it's part of the action.
Mm-hmm.
But casino players, they seem to be after something a bit different.
Yeah.
It's not just about the winning.
Yeah.
It's about the whole experience.
It is. It's
You
about the leisure,
Yeah.
the escape, the chance to maybe unwind, have some fun, and potentially, win big.
It's that classic image, isn't it, of hitting the jackpot,
Yeah.
walking away a winner.
Yeah.
It changes your life.
Yeah.
Even if it's, the odds are pretty slim.
Of course. But it's the dream, isn't it?
Yeah. But speaking of odds,
Yeah.
how does the frequency and duration of each type of gambling, how does that compare? Do they gamble at different paces?
Well, there's definitely a difference there.
Okay.
Sports betting is largely event-driven.
Event-driven, right.
So people bet more frequently when their favorite sports are in season.
Right.
Or obviously during those big tournaments, think about March Madness, Super Bowl,
Yeah.
World Cup.
It's all about, yeah.
It's all about those key moments.
Right, in those waves, yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
But casino gambling, that's more of an anytime activity.
It is. I mean, you can walk into a casino or log on to an online casino site, I mean.
Any time of day or night,
Pretty much, yeah. It's always there.
always available.
Yeah.
So it's more about, yeah,
Yeah.
fitting it into your schedule, your mood.
Exactly.
You can, I don't know, play some blackjack on your lunch break.
Yeah.
Or spend an evening, on the slots.
Mm-hmm.
But even within sports betting,
Yeah.
like someone who's really into horse racing, they might have a chance to bet almost every day.
You're right. You're right. Horse racing is a really good example of that, where if you follow it closely,
Yeah.
it can be a much more regular activity.
Right.
But overall, I'd say, yeah, sports betting tends to be more event-driven.
Okay.
And casino gambling, it's a bit more flexible.
Okay. So we've got these two distinct gambling styles.
Yeah.
Each with their own kind of rhythm, their own frequency.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go back to the social aspect for a minute.
Okay.
We talked about, watching a game with your mates.
Yeah.
Placing bets together. There's a real social element there to sports betting.
There is.
Yeah.
And it's a huge draw for a lot of people. I mean, think about, you're in a sports bar during a big game. Everyone's cheering. They're placing bets, sharing the excitement.
Yeah.
It creates this real sense of camaraderie, I think.
Like a shared experience almost.
Yeah.
It amps up the thrill of the game itself.
Absolutely.
And even online, you've got those online sports betting communities. They're fostering that same connection.
They are, yeah. I mean, online platforms, they create these kind of virtual spaces where people can connect over that shared passion for sports and for betting.
Right.
It's like a global water cooler for sports fans.
Yeah.
And bettors.
So even in this digital age, sports betting's got that social element.
It does, yeah.
But casino gambling, that's always been seen as more solitary.
Right. Traditionally, yeah. But even the casino world is becoming more social.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, modern casinos,
Yeah.
they're designed to encourage interaction.
Okay.
You've got open floor plans, bars, restaurants. You might even have live entertainment.
It's like they're blurring the lines then between, gambling and nightlife.
Yeah, I think so.
You can go to a casino, you can have a night out with your friends, have dinner, see a show, and then, try your luck at the roulette wheel.
Exactly, yeah. And even online casinos now are incorporating more social elements. So you might have chat features,
Right, okay.
leaderboards, even virtual reality experiences
Wow.
where people can, interact in these much more immersive ways.
So it seems like, both sports betting and casino gambling, they're evolving to become more social experiences.
Oh, I think that's right. Yeah.
It's not just about winning and losing.
No.
It's about connecting with others who share similar interests.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the economic impact for a minute.
Okay.
Gambling is massive, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it generates billions of dollars in revenue globally.
Yeah.
And with the rise of online gambling and the legalization of sports betting in a lot of places,
Yeah.
I mean, the industry's only going to get bigger.
So it's like this financial juggernaut.
It is.
But with that kind of growth, I mean, there must be both positive and negative implications.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of the good things about gambling? What are the economic benefits?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, it creates jobs.
Got it.
You've got casino staff, you've got software developers for online casinos,
Yeah.
marketing people. I mean, it employs a huge range of people.
Right.
It also generates significant tax revenue for governments.
Okay, yeah.
And that can be used to fund public services, infrastructure projects.
So it's not just about, the profits for the casinos themselves.
Right.
It's about contributing to the economy.
Absolutely.
But there has to be a flip side.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the downsides to a booming gambling industry?
Well, I mean, the biggest concern is problem gambling.
Problem gambling, right?
For a small percentage of people, gambling can become addictive. And
Yeah.
that leads to financial hardship, relationship problems, sometimes even criminal activity.
It's a serious issue.
It is. It's a serious issue that needs to be addressed.
Yeah. I mean, it's like any kind of potentially addictive behavior, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whether it's alcohol, drugs, or even shopping.
Mm.
For most people, it's a harmless form of entertainment.
Yes.
but for some it can really spiral.
Absolutely.
So what can be done then to mitigate those risks?
Yeah.
To promote responsible gambling.
I think education is key.
Education.
Governments and gambling operators, they need to work together to educate the public about the risks,
Yeah.
promote responsible gambling practices, and also provide resources and support for people who might be struggling.
So it's about striking that balance then.
Yeah.
Allowing people to enjoy the fun aspects, but also protecting the vulnerable.
Exactly. Yeah. You want people to enjoy it, but you also want to protect those who might be at risk. It's a tricky balance to get right.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think,
Yeah.
it's important to try.
Okay, but with the industry changing so quickly,
Mm.
with online gambling, with all of that,
Yeah.
I mean, how would regulations even keep up?
It's tough, isn't it? It's like trying to hit a moving target.
Yeah.
The laws and regulations around gambling, they're constantly changing as governments try to adapt to the evolving landscape.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's vital for both operators
Yeah.
and players to have a really clear understanding of the legal framework
Right.
in their own jurisdictions.
Yeah, yeah.
Operating outside the law can have serious consequences for businesses
Yeah.
and for individuals.
Yeah.
It's crucial that they're gambling with licensed and reputable operators.
So you need to know the rules of the game,
You do.
basically, to stay safe.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. But with all this talk of regulation responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've almost forgotten that gambling at its core is entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of the key trends that are shaping the future of gambling as an entertainment industry?
Well, I mean, we've already touched on it, but the rise of online gambling is absolutely massive.
Yeah.
As internet access becomes more widespread, mobile technology continues to advance.
Yeah.
I mean, more and more people are choosing to gamble online.
It's all about convenience and accessibility,
It is.
isn't it? You can play, I don't know, your favorite casino games, put a bet on a sporting event.
Yeah,
Just a few taps on your phone.
exactly. Yeah.
It's crazy how technology's transformed everything.
It has. And the shift to online platforms, it's driving innovation.
Okay.
I mean, you think about game development,
Yeah.
payment processing, even customer support.
It's all changing.
Yeah. I mean, these online operators, they're constantly trying to improve the user experience, provide this much more immersive and engaging gambling environment.
It's almost like they're creating a virtual Las Vegas,
It is, yeah.
isn't it?
You can have all the thrills, all the excitement of a casino,
Yeah.
but you can experience it from your own couch.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're also using, data analytics, artificial intelligence
Wow.
to personalize the gambling experience, target promotions, and even to identify players who might be at risk of developing problem gambling habits.
Right. Okay.
So in a way, technology is being used both to enhance the entertainment,
Yeah.
but also to promote responsible gambling.
It's fascinating, isn't it, how technology can kind of be a double-edged sword.
It is, yeah.
But are there any other trends? I mean, beyond, the technological advancements.
Yeah, I mean, one major trend is the convergence of gambling and entertainment.
Oh.
So we're seeing casinos incorporating more non-gambling amenities.
Like what?
You might have restaurants, nightclubs, theaters. Some of them even have shopping malls.
It's like they're creating these mini cities within a casino.
They are. You could spend a whole day, a whole weekend there.
Yeah.
And not even gamble if you don't want to.
So it's all about providing a whole experience, a kind of holistic experience.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it appeals to a much wider audience that way.
Right.
And this is blurring the lines, I think, between traditional casinos
Yeah.
and entertainment complexes,
Yeah.
creating these new opportunities
Yeah.
for both operators and for customers.
It's an exciting time, I guess, to be following the industry.
It is. There's so much innovation, so much change
Yeah.
happening all the time.
But as exciting as it all is, we can't forget that gambling should always be approached with caution.
Absolutely.
Responsibility.
It's crucial to set limits,
Yeah.
both in terms of time and money, and to never chase losses. It should be fun. It should be enjoyable,
Yeah.
not a source of stress or financial hardship.
About finding that healthy balance,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Well, I think our deep dive today has shown, really, that the world of gambling is far more complex than it might seem.
Oh, for sure.
It's a dynamic industry
Mm-hmm.
shaped by so many things: technology, economics,
Social trends,
yeah,
psychology.
individual psychology.
Absolutely. It's all intertwined.
We've explored, I think, some of the key distinctions between these two types of gambling. Sports bettors,
Mm-hmm.
casino players.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about the allure,
Yeah.
but also the dangers and those evolving trends.
Yeah, it's constantly changing.
It's fascinating.
It is.
It's been a great conversation, Fiona.
It has.
Thanks for sharing your expertise, your insights.
My pleasure.
I've learned a lot, and I'm sure our listeners have too.
I hope so.
So, to everyone listening, thanks for joining us on Gambling Flow. We hope you found this deep dive into the world of gambling,
Yeah.
Informative, engaging,
Entertaining, hopefully.
entertaining. Yeah, absolutely. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any future episodes.
That's right. Hit that subscribe button.
Hit that button and leave us a comment.
Yeah, we love to hear from you.
Yeah, we really do. We want to hear your thoughts.
Absolutely.
Share the episode with your friends.
Yeah.
If they're interested in this whole world of sports betting and casino games.
Spread the word.
Okay, folks, that's it for today.
See you next time.
I'm Russell Kane.
Fiona Blake.
Thanks again for listening to Gambling Flow. Until next time, gamble responsibly.
And good luck out there.
Yeah, good luck.